So basically, I'm gonna be giving you guys a tea. I know, like, if you're trying to get a house in New Brunswick, what do you need to know and everything like that. So it's gonna take you guys through the process, and boom, you see yourself getting a house by next year, few months down, and all like that. Don't share about you, Abi.
Talk about you.
That's
the important thing.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Adekanmbiola and I'm back again with another video. Guys, guess who is here today? Oh, why are you looking shy?
Wait now.
Guys, guess who's here? You guys have seen him already. That is here today, guys. He was just like, you know what? Lekawara family will be see. I don't know, but we have that here today, guys. I'm actually so excited to have him. Thanks for gracing this channel again.
Welcome.
Your lovers, your fans have been waiting. They've been waiting for when are we gonna do a video together, and I'm actually happy you're actually here today. So today we're gonna be doing a different kind of video for you guys. So you guys know in our previous video, like we've done about videos about New Brunswick and all like that, update and all like that. So this is gonna be an update of if you want to get a house in New Brunswick. Why do you feel New Brunswick is actually like the best way for you to get accommodation, houses, and all this things like that? So that will be telling us, the gist and everything like that, about this, and you'll be able to explain more about if you're actually interested in getting housing, accommodation. Why are you looking down?
No, yeah.
Why are you shy?
Are
you shy with them?
No.
They remember a video. We know we look at camera.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
So basically, I'm gonna be giving you guys a tea. I know, like, if you're trying to get a house in New Brunswick, what do you need to know and everything like that. So it's gonna take you guys through the process, and boom, you see yourself getting a house by next year, few months down, and all like that. Don't share about you, Abi.
Talk about you.
That's
the important thing.
Okay, so let's just get right into it. Guys, in case you guys don't know Dayo has been on my channel before and he has done a lot of videos about New Brunswick and all like that. So basically, in case you don't know him, so Dayo, can you introduce yourself again?
So
and what you do?
My name is Dayo, or Adekanmbiola.
Yes.
Omoba, popular call Omoba. What do I do? Okay, so I'm a finance professional. I'm a consultant. I'm also like a part-time instructor or a lecturer.
Educational consultant, guys. So he has the agency as well. In case you want to move to Canada and not like that, is your plug. I can put the stuff down below so you guys can go and reach out to him and not like that. So he's a lecturer as well. So what's it like being a lecturer?
Focus.
Oh yeah,
Focus.
Guys, don't let's divert on this video. I'm gonna ask you about that one later. So guys, so can you tell us about what's it like getting a house in New Brunswick? Like the process. Like people can use to get a house in New Brunswick.
Getting a house in New Brunswick is like, I think it's almost like the same thing everywhere. However, I think the first step is, like Ola said, is have your money first, right?
Like how much do you think I need to have?
Yes, you want to have savings. So how much you need to have would depend on your situation, right? So for example, if you are a permanent resident, right, or a citizen, you need 5%.
Yeah.
So that's 5% of the cost of your house, of how much you want to get, like the house you want to get. If you're a temporary resident, so students, worker, etc., you need 20%.
Okay.
Right, 20%. So in simple English, if the house is 300,000, right? If you're a PR, so you're looking at just what, like 15K, right? And if you are a worker, you don't have your PR yet or anything, you're looking at about $60,000 as minimum amount you need to have.
Wow.
Right. So that would be the minimum. And it can be higher than that, right? Depending on other situations, but that would be the minimum you need to have.
So like, was it like how much are houses over there? Like a condo,
So let's not use the word condo because we're not looking at places like Vancouver, right?
You guys have high-rises there?
Well, no, I think the highest I would have seen would be like maybe 12 floors. And
how come they don't do that though?
You also need to look at like the standard of living, right?
Okay.
That kind of thing. Investments. Why people want to invest in that building. But like, let's look at houses generally, right? So I think the most popular kind of houses there are semi-detached house, right? Or we also have what we call condo, but it's not like condo in you guys, like in terms of, it's condo in terms of like 4 houses together, right? And each person just has their own units, right? That kind of thing. So I would say on average, right? I think the average price of houses in New Brunswick, we're looking at about like $300,000 to $400,000.
Okay, every month, every year.
No, the whole house.
Oh, the whole house. Sorry, what am I thinking? Okay,
the whole house.
So like in that kind of environment, like what is the mortgage? English is hard, guys. What is the mortgage gonna be like in a month that you'll be paying for that kind of apartment? So
now, because of how inflation or because of how everything is expensive now, right? Everybody's feeling it, right? So rates are currently high, right? So like as of today now, like the current fixed rate. So we have like fixed rate and variable rates. Fixed rate is like this is like when we buy a car now, like your rate is fixed. And I think that is like about 6 point something percent, right? And variable rate is like 6 point something percent too. But 2 years ago, in 2020, my
Yeah.
friend bought a house and his rate was like 1 point.
Hmm.
Can you see the
Wow.
difference? So, meaning that someone who buys a house
3 years
3 years
ago,
ago and it's 300K,
it's gonna
right?
appreciate.
Do you get? Yes. Someone who bought a house 3 years ago and his house is 300K, possibly his mortgage is going to be paying like 1,000 something.
Oh yeah.
Now, someone who is buying it this year,
Yeah.
but because the rate is 6 point something,
Yeah.
it's going to pay like 2,000 something. That's the difference, right?
Wow, that's
Because his own interest is very, very low, 1
low.
point.
Yeah.
But now the interest rate is 6 points. So there's a big margin there.
Yeah.
But I would generally think so. There's no direct answer to your question. It's
Yeah.
based on what is the mortgage rate
Mm.
currently. But it's not just New Brunswick. The mortgage rates affect the whole of Canada.
So
right?
what advice would you give a new home buyer basically?
New Brunswick is a good place to buy a house if you are living there or for investment. However, they've stopped allowing people outside the province to buy a house.
Oh.
Like, you need to show proof that
That you
maybe you
live
are
there.
working there or you want to live there. And it makes sense because if, for example, you that stay in New Brunswick, you go and buy a house there, right? But you're not staying there. And because you stay in New Brunswick, and so you stay in BC where house is like millions, and you're seeing house of 400,000, you go and buy it there. But when you want to rent it out, you rent it expensive because maybe the house that is 400, you bought it for like 500. Because for you, the house is cheap.
Cheap, yeah.
But for people in New Brunswick, the house is not cheap.
Makes sense.
So they stopped people from buying, from doing that. So they only allow you to buy if you stay there.
So what was it like when you moved to Toronto and you saw the way the houses are in Toronto, like you?
Well, I mean, I think I wasn't surprised. I mean, because I've stayed in Toronto before, right?
Yeah.
But again, I don't want to be biased, but like, there's just a way houses in Toronto look like and houses in New Brunswick look like.
What's it like?
Toronto can be more affluent with their houses, like with the way they build out. I'm talking about houses now, not condo. Like with the way they build houses, like they'll take more time, make it much more spacious, and obviously it's going to be more expensive.
Toronto or New Brunswick?
Toronto.
Oh really?
Yes. Okay. The condos are small.
Yeah.
But the houses, like those that build houses, are big.
Okay.
Right? Do you get? So like most times in Toronto, you see like a house, the basement will have like a full 2-bedroom basement, or even 3. But in New Brunswick, it's hard for you to see a 2-bedroom. Like someone that build house and there's 2-bedroom basement. The basement will always be like maybe like a 1-bedroom. Like 1 room, 1 sitting room. It just shows you again about how the structure of the houses are.
So what advice will you give new home buyers?
So if you want to buy a house, new buyers generally, New Brunswick and every other part of Canada, first one is your savings. Like you want to save like mad. Because I've had so many people buy houses and you can see a house listed for 300,000, but by the time the house is being sold, right? Because you bid on it, right? It's more like, I won't call it bidding, but you have to tell them, oh, Ola is my agent. And I'm like, oh, I want to buy this house for 330. Ola will tell the owner of the house, like, person I want to sell. By the end of the day, what we notice is a house can be listed for 300, but you end up selling for 390. Like, outbidding, yes. So, in that situation, even though you only need 20%, you want to have more than your minimum.
So by the time you finish finalizing,
so that yes, because you have lawyer fees, which will be like maybe like 5% or 2%. There is property taxes from the government that you pay. So all the additional costs. So let's say your minimum payments, like for the house, is 60,000. You might still have like up to 10 or 20,000 to pay.
Wow.
Based on property tax, lawyer fees, maybe like inspection fees, survey, all those little fees are there.
Wow.
Right. So that's one. Number 2, you want to get a pre-approval from the bank. Right. If the bank has not pre-approved you, you're almost wasting your time. Because imagine you cannot even drop, you cannot do a proposal, like you cannot give an offer without getting pre-approval.
Yeah.
Because if I've saved 60,000, what if the bank is not willing to give me the 240,000? Is that not a waste of my time?
Yeah.
So the first thing I'll tell you is save money. Then number 2 is get your pre-approval. The pre-approval is the bank telling you that, Adedayo, this is the amount we are going to give you for buying of house. So even if you want to buy a house of 300 and the bank is saying they want to give me 200, then I know I have 2 options. Either I save up to 100,000, or I look for a house with a lower amount that can meet the 200,000. Right? And if the bank is giving you more, then you know that okay, you have more money to spend. Right? So those are the 2 things. Then number 3, work with a good realtor. Because some realtor have.
So do you just check them on LinkedIn or check them online or just?
So for realtor, what I do is there are a lot of sites. I used to use realtor.ca. It lists all property for sale across Canada. And when it lists the houses, it shows you the real estate company that is selling it.
Okay.
And because any real estate company that is selling, they'll most likely also have, it's always an office.
Yeah.
It's more than one person. So like most times I either look at popular realtor companies and just contact them. Do you get, and pick one person from there and work with the person.
Wow, that makes sense.
Right. Instead of, because the bigger the real estate, the real estate company, the better it is for you.
The better or the more
yes, no, the better it is for you. It means they have better resources, better network, and they are much more experienced.
Okay, that makes sense then.
Right. So I want to go with not that the small ones are not good, but it just gives me more guarantee. Like, okay, you know what? For example, now Remax. We all know Remax. There's Remax, like we've known Remax since Nanaimo. There's Remax in, even Nanaimo is small town has Remax, right? Then it's almost everywhere.
Yeah.
Do you get? So, and in that situation, if you move from New Brunswick to Vancouver and you need to buy a house in Vancouver, your real estate company in Nanaimo can help you get in touch with the one in Vancouver, and it makes everything easy.
Okay. So after like Realtor, what do you think? What else do you think?
So from Realtor, your Realtor is the one that does all the work. They will kind of ask you like, what is the amount you're looking at? They will also ask you, have you been pre-approved? Because nobody wants to waste their time.
Okay.
So they ask you, how much house are you looking for? Like, do you have a minimum stuff? Like some people say, oh, it must be a 2-bedroom and it must have 2 baths.
Makes sense.
Some people say, oh, I just don't want 2 baths. The bathroom must be in my room.
Okay.
Right? So you have to give them all the specification and then they'll start sending you listings.
Okay, makes sense. So what about people that just they said, is it like they build their house from scratch or like they buy the land and stuff like that?
That's also possible. It's a longer process and stressful process.
Okay.
But it's also possible. It's normally would involve, again, I think the first one down again is saving money, securing finance. You also need to secure money from the bank.
Definitely.
It might not be bank, it might be a private investor, but like secure your funds. Then you now start looking for land.
Okay.
Now again, to look for land again, you can use that website or you can type lands for sale in like Moncton, New Brunswick. It's bring out a lot.
Okay.
Then after you buy land, then have to look for building. So my advice for that one is, maybe you secure funding, start contacting potential construction companies. Because I also had a friend that did that in New Brunswick, but it took him like 8 months before he could get, not before they could start building it, because the construction company were all booked out.
Wow.
Till that period.
Wow.
And if you notice, they build more in Canada during summer.
Yeah.
So that's why if you want to do it during summer, you'll be surprised that people have booked them since like October last year.
Yeah, okay. So you have to like be ahead of your game.
Yeah, so you have to be ahead of your game, right? You want to book in advance.
So that's everything we need to know about getting a house and all like that. So if in case you guys want to get a house in New Brunswick, it's a good English.
It's a good deal.
It's a good deal.
Good investment.
You guys get into it, go get your homes basically, move in with your family and have a good time. Necessarily, if you actually want to rent the house out and do all this, like it's actually good money as well.
Yeah.
There's actually a lot of students on that side as well. I feel like
and some tips to look out for if you are a family. So like you possibly you have like children or you just started out, you'll be having kids soon. You want to start looking at when you want to buy a house. My own advice is, number one, look for a house that it's like has some garden, just so that your children can be playing at the backyard. You also want to look for a house that is within considerable distance to a public school, because naturally the way they work in Canada is the government enrolls you in the school closest to your house, right? And you don't want the school to be like 30 minutes drive or 20 minutes drive. Yes, for the kids. You don't want the school to be like 20 minutes drive from you, right? So the closer it is to the school, the better it is for you. So maybe if you are working, you can easily leave work, pick your child. Everything is within a good distance, right? Then number 3, you want to really look for, again, if you have kids, you want to look for a quiet neighborhood. Is it like a family neighborhood, like less busy, like not too much traffic, those kind of things. But if you're a young guy, right, you're not married yet and all, if investment is your goal, so you're doing for investment, then you want to start looking at, is it near a school? Right? Because if it's near a school, then it means that students will most likely want to rent your house.
Yeah.
And that means your property is going to rent out fast.
Yeah.
Right? So those are the things you want to be looking at, right? So it's different for everybody, but your situation should actually determine which area should I buy my house at. Right? That kind of thing.
Yeah, thank you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and share with your friends, like people that actually want to get a house and people that you feel like, oh, this is important. So you can actually save the video too for when you're ready. Or people actually just coming to Canada and you don't want to buy a house. You guys should just get into it and all like that. You guys will catch us on the next video and all like that we're gonna do. Dario, thanks for coming on this channel again. You guys follow us on our socials, everything is gonna be down below, and we're gonna catch you guys in our next video, okay?
Peace
Bye.
out. Bye.
Oh, and again, before I go, guys, if you guys want us to do another video and again, like something else you're thinking about, and like that, you guys put it in the comment section below. So next time that is coming around us, when I see him, we can just do something together and all like that. Okay, I'm gonna catch you guys in my next video. Bye.